Alright, so we're going to be running power from the house to the shed. Right now we just got this extension cord that we kind of have to do whenever we need power out here. It's getting a little old. So we've got to dig a trench straight across to bury our conduit down 18 inches underneath and get this wired into the breaker box so we can get some power out here. It's not going to be an easy project. Let's get started.
We got this tired old shed. Everything's pretty disorganized. There was a whole bunch of old electrical wiring here and up here that I already ripped out. I'm trying to fix this place up.
Alright, so this is the shed. I've already power washed it briefly, and then I'm filling up this bucket here with some TSP trisodium phosphate. And then we're going to take that, we're going to scrub the walls off and scrub the floors, get any of the old residue off, and then we're going to go ahead and power wash again to make sure this place is super clean. Swept out. For the new electrical going to the shed, I'm going to put in a new breaker right here dedicated to this, and it is going to be a 20 amp GFCI AFCI combination breaker. This is kind of a special breaker. Normal breakers are like $8 to $10. This is about $50. What this does is it has a relay in here to see if there's an electrical short happening, a ground fault circuit interrupter and an arc fault circuit interrupter. And what this is going to do, it's going to protect it from fire, and in case there's any water that gets into it and shorts it, something happens, you're not going to get zapped. It's going to protect the whole entire circuit going in there. These are pretty new in the last 5 or 6 years. I think they were invented in like 2015. Anyway, they're the future. Pretty soon, everything new is going to eventually have these to protect us. It's going to be the new code standard, I can predict, in about 10 or 20 years. All right, first we're going to kill the panel, electricity off, and we're going to start working. Boom, all the power's off to the house. So we've got the AFCI GFCI ground fault circuit interrupter breaker in there. There's really not any difference from wiring this in than a traditional breaker. The only difference is that all of the neutrals on traditional wires go back to a neutral bar, and only the hots come out of the breakers. Now this one has a relay in here, so your neutral comes back here, and it's going to sense if there's a difference in current, and I think it's down to like 0.05 amps difference. And if there's a difference in amps going out than what's coming back, then what's going to happen is it's going to trigger and it's going to fault. And then this one has its other neutral going to the neutral bar right there. So that's really the only difference. And this is a sensor in it. It's going to trigger if it senses that there's a ground fault. Keeps you safe, keeps you from getting zapped. All right. Paint in the shed is done, so now we're starting to pull the electrical out of that conduit that we buried all the way up here. Put some lights on the other side and some lights on this side. So we've got all our conduit ran in our trench, and we've got our first wire here, or our first outlet wired. It's hot, and then these are all capped because underneath these electrical wires here are hot still. So we want to make sure that that is keeping us capped for safety. And then I'm going to plug this in here, and on here it tells me all the different things that can go wrong with it. So the ideal thing is to look for no light on the first one, and then have 2 lights here. So let's give this a try. Boom. Nailed it. So now we know we're wired correctly, which is good. So I can go ahead and bury all that dirt back into our bench, and then turn off the breaker and keep on wiring. All right, so this is the shed now. We got the floor painted with special floor and patio paint.
Got all these walls painted, looking super clean. Got some electrical RAN installed, some switches that go to some outlets, that go to some lights, everything else, and some electrical over there. So now we've got light inside the shed here. And then we've got some lights that control the outside here. Now, it's got to put some covers on, get all this back in here nice and organized.
I hope you enjoyed this shed renovation video. Like and subscribe, and put a comment in there. What do you want to see built for the next video?